Thanks for watching. This is James Robertson with WorkSpace Real Estate. For today's topic, we're going to talk about just a few of the most commonly overlooked issues in a lease that can raise your rent rate quite a bit. The first one everybody should know about is going to be your triple net or OPEX, or operating expenses. That's your common area maintenance, taxes, and insurance. Those three things can change at any time when you're in a lease, and if your lease is open-ended, where your lease is able to increase with those costs, that can be severely detrimental to your business operations. Real estate expense is one of the second highest expenses that you can have under HR. And what you don't want is you don't want an open-ended lease where your rate can go up without you knowing about it, without you being able to control it in some way. Now, some things you can control. Like if you're dealing with a triple net type lease, if you have a retail or office space, you're dealing with a triple net lease, the taxes, many times the taxes are going to be the hardest part to control because the landlord wants to pass through that liability. But I want you guys to understand that that's not a foregone conclusion. That should be negotiated. And big companies almost always cap that. Okay, it's up to the property management to control their cost, not you. So if they make a mistake and taxes go through the roof because they didn't contest it properly, or if they choose the wrong property management group and they're mismanaging their vendors and your common area maintenance costs go up, you should not be penalized for those mistakes. Okay, you should participate. That's fair. But to have it set up to where you're just footing the bill for bad decisions, it can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars if you're a larger space. It can cost you tens of thousands of dollars for a smaller space. So triple net cost is one of the biggest. The second one is capital improvements. So if the landlord gets a new roof or a new parking lot and you notice that your rent went up by a couple $100s, that's a pretty big deal. And it happens all over major markets like Houston. I usually get calls when a landlord does something like this. They fix the AC unit and all of a sudden they're like, why did my rent go up? I didn't tell them they could do this. I didn't negotiate this. Well, it's in your lease. These are things that have to be looked at. And a good broker understands the market and what's acceptable as far as business terms. And they can talk to your attorney. An attorney can fashion a legal language. But as far as the business points on what those parameters should be and why, your broker should be able to tell you that, right? So always make sure, those are just two. There are dozens more that are in your lease. And I'll talk about the default clauses later. That's a whole nother can of worms. But make sure that you're checking these things carefully. Make sure that you control everything that can be controlled, and make sure that your costs are projected out over that full term so you understand your full liability and what you could be charged for. If you're trying to get a loan in the future, either a line of credit or a loan for business operations, understand that if they look at your lease document and see these open-ended type of setups, it can affect your ability to get loans from many commercial bankers. So I hope this information was helpful to you, and thank you for watching.